Candus Wells, Candus Bly, whatever she's calling herself these days. She's still Queen Bee, isn't she? The star of the show, the belle of the ball. The mayor of Beach Creek has been trying to take her crown, but it's going to take some effort. Candus has always been my number one, really. If I had to pick one, people might have gotten a different impression from some of my videos because I'm trying to challenge my own assumptions and opinions, basically. I do genuinely hope that Candus is innocent of having any direct involvement in the disappearance of Summer. Yes, she was negligent and wasn't watching her young child, at the very least. But I do hope she has nothing to do with it. I think it would be a great lesson for everyone not to jump to conclusions. And the fear is, if Candus is guilty and that's proven, then people are going to run away with themselves in future cases and blame someone who's innocent. But myself, like most people I think, when I first seen Candus give an interview, I was shocked, appalled. That interview is notorious. That'll go down in true crime history. It gets worse every time you watch it. But after that, I was like, I'm 85% sure this woman knows something. More than that, more than know something, she did it. Which is a huge percentage for me. I was just like, lock her up, shake her up, find out what happened to that poor little girl. And she's been number one since then. I know a heck of a lot more about her, about many other people in that area, about Summer, about Summer's life, but nothing knocks Candus off her perch. And I started this top 5 because I was thinking about number 3, who I'll talk about in the next video, the last video. I've some big question marks and bad feelings there, but there's no way I can have him ahead of Candus or Grandma Candus. How could anyone? Look at how sketchy they are. The one thing that has happened is the amount of weight or feeling that I kind of have behind Candus at number 1. That has come way down. I've come way down from that initial reaction of Candus has definitely done this. And just roughly, because I said I would do it in the first video I did, this is the kind of weight that I would have behind my kind of top 5. This is hard to do. I have so many theories. It changes a lot. This could change tomorrow. It's just today on this day. But I have Candus at 30, Grandma at 20, number 3 at 17, Don at 16, Jodie Sue Brown at 7, and Other at 10. And Candus and Grandma Candus have a half share between them. And I'm inclined to believe that both must have guilty knowledge. I can't overlook it. And it would take a big effort, some solid evidence basically, for me to put someone ahead of them. Like when push comes to shove, if it came down to it, and your life depended on giving the correct answer, who would you go with? You'd probably go with Candus. I have huge suspicions about so many other people, but she's still number 1. If I change that question to who I would have a bet on, and Candus is probably the firm favourite, so no value there, I'd probably go with my number 3. But this video isn't about having a bet on, it's who you'd pick. And I'd pick Candus. I do have empathy for Candus. I think she had a very rough childhood. I think we probably don't know the half of it. She is stunted. She's like a giddy, gullible teenager. It seems to me like she tries to be a cooler older sister rather than a mother. I think she's lonely. I don't think she ever had a man or a person probably in her life that treated her nice. I do feel for her, but that doesn't mean she's innocent or a good mother or anything like that. So why Candus? What's Candus's motive? So there's the accident cover-up. Did Summer have an accident? Did something happen when she was playing hide and go seek? Did Summer even get out of the car that day? Was it intentional? Did Candus snap? Was she jealous of Summer? Was she jealous of the attention that Summer used to get off Don? Or number 3, was Summer sold as a temporary or permanent transaction? And I think also within number 1, there definitely is motive for covering her up. Dom will beat her, he'll throw her out, she's back to living with Candy, she will lose the boys for sure. I can totally see why a decision was made, if it was, to cover her up. The pros for me thinking Candus is involved. Number 1 has to be the timeline, because the timeline is whack. What were you doing for 3 hours, Candus? There's a 3 hour gap she can't fill. It's 10, 15, 20 minutes at a max. A story that we're getting, it's nonsense. The whole thing is nonsense. What were you doing? Other than a 911 call and a deleted Facebook post, we know nothing about what happened in that 3 hours. Because what Candus or Don or Grandma tells us just doesn't fit, it doesn't make sense. Candus left the hill twice that day. I believe TBI put this to her, That was confirmed in recorded calls between herself and Benny Keys. Why did Candus leave the hill twice that day? Why do TBI think she left the hill twice that day? Is that something from phone data, perhaps? Where does she go? What was she doing? The next one is a rumour. I haven't talked about it before, but apparently Candus refused to come out of the house that night. She sent the boys out. The cops were there. They were outside her front door, parked up, and it was the boys that were out there talking to the cops. Candus was inside, phoning her friends, phoning Robin, phoning Ali, and Ali kind of confirmed this also in her interview when she was talking about Candus on FaceTime, grabbing her hat like she did in the Chris McDonough interview. So I do think there could be some truth in it. Why was Candus inside hiding, panicking? It was also said, and I didn't believe this initially, and I'm still not sure, that night she asked the cops to get her some booze. Not only that, they actually went and got it for her, which initially I was like, that's bullshit. There's no way that would happen. But then I was thinking about it, and alcohol makes lips loose, and loose lips sink ships. So I wonder, is there some truth in it? And that kind of leads into Candus's behaviour. I could talk 30, 40 minutes on her behaviour since Summer went missing. It's just madness. Outrageous stuff. And I made a video on Cheryl Williams talking about something that she said in a victim impact statement that just stuck with me. There's no manual to tell a mother what to do when her child goes missing. So I don't think we should be judging too much if we're going to go off Cheryl's words. But if we look at Cheryl's actions and Candus's actions and other mothers who have kids go missing, it's chalk and cheese. Why didn't she search? Why didn't she bother searching? How could you not search for your child? She goes over to Hunter's house the next day to ask him what he told the TBI. Again, who cares? Who cares if you got him a twisted tea? Your daughter is missing. Why aren't you searching? Why are you running around covering your ass? The CPS case, another huge one. We know this is linked to the Summer Wells case. Why is this linked? What happened here? Why were the boys taken? They were taken for very, very good reason, no doubt. I think Candus would have been very difficult to interrogate without being arrested. She would just get up and leave, like in Dr. Phil. What can they do after her polygraph during interrogation if she shuts down and is, I'm leaving? They can't stop her unless they arrest her. We know the first time she went down for an interview and a polygraph, they couldn't even do it because she was so zonked out of it, whatever pills she took. She was off her face for weeks after someone went missing. You can see it in the interviews. Look at her eyes, look at her demeanour. Chris McDonough reported that one of the officers had said that the boys told him they were playing hide and go seek. So is that what happened? I've done a video on that in the past, and Don's kind of weird reaction to the beating the refrigerator. Like, it's hard to get away from Candus. It's hard to overlook all this. She was not a good, responsible mother. I'm glad the boys are taken. I'm glad they've gotten a chance. Summer was always going to be in danger. But does Candus have anything to do with it? Is she a mastermind? She seems pretty gullible. We seen that when she got catfished. I came out of that feeling sorry for her. She seems so lonely, so desperate for attention, and really wanted to believe that this guy was real. She's not the sharpest tool in the shed. Where would Candus hide a body? Where would she hide it? She doesn't know the area like other people know the area. Surely, if Candus hid Summer's body, it would be found by now. It is worrying that a 10-minute drive and you're kind of out of the search area, but in close proximity to the house, I do not think Candus would know all the nooks and crannies like other people in Ben Hill Road. The dogs found nothing that we know of. Like, it does depend on how fast the body was moved. They might not find anything at all. We know Dave from Echo Search was there. They didn't find anything either, but I thought it was interesting to hear him confirm about the dogs coming down the dog trail from the house, and also the fact that his team was not allowed up to the actual property with the dogs. Why is that? Is it because the TBI dogs, their own dogs, already found something? They didn't need anything else? Like, I'm inclined to think if they found nothing with their own dogs, nothing at all, that they might leave the lads from Echo Search up there. Why not? You've nothing to lose. Unless there was something up there that they were trying to preserve, or they already found what they're looking for. But apparently the dogs found nothing showed up, bar the footprints. Cadaver dogs didn't hit on anything. As far as I know, they didn't alert on a fridge or on a car or anything like that. So the dogs don't find anything that points towards Candus. If anything, the stuff we know about from the dogs points away from Candus. And TBI told us they went through their reams and reams of data and they're no further forward. So you have to imagine they didn't find anything on Candus's phone either. Like, it would be astonishing if someone like Candus did this on her own and could get away with it. She would need to get very, very lucky. But I suppose, what evidence do we expect if Candus did it? Obviously, if poor Summer is dead and we find her body, there might be something to link back to Candus, to link back to the house. At this stage, we're not going to be finding fingerprints on a tarp or plastic or anything like that. It's all going to be circumstantial. If she's found at a location Candus was known to frequent, I guess, or if the cause of death could be linked back to something on the property, something like that. But the longer it goes, the harder it's going to be to determine anything like that. Maybe there is stuff. Maybe there's a bit of evidence. Maybe there's a bit of data evidence. Some dogs did alert in the house. Without a body, still, it's going to be a heck of a thing to try and convict someone on this. And even with a body, it's going to be tough at this stage. This is a way bigger circus than Casey Anthony, from what I can see, and look how that turned out. Look how that turned out for Casey. It's a bit boring, like, isn't it? Having Candus at number 1 for the last 12 months, but just because it's boring doesn't mean we should overlook or disregard it because we've heard it over and over again and we know all about it. I'm very interested to know and hear from people that have moved away from Candus. How do you explain the timeline and her behaviour? And I really do hope Candus is innocent, but it's just too hard for me to get away from it. She is still lying about stuff, even if she is innocent. I just wish she didn't do that. Just admit the lies. If you smoked 3 joints and lost track of time, just tell us that. Very interested in the comments here. Have you moved away from Candus? If so, how and why? Have you been Candus all along? Or have you never suspected Candus at all? And if so, please explain to me how and why. Good luck, God bless, have a good day.
Look, Granny! Someone's apple! An apple! Granny!